You've worried yourself sick about your upcoming speech for weeks. You've done everything you can to prepare. You finally stand on stage in front of your audience. You deliver your talk, and it goes well. You get some nods of agreement from the audience and looks of support as you talk. And at the end of your speech, you get a round of applause. Just when you think you're safe, just as you're about to pat yourself on the back, it all crumbles around you. You'd done everything to prepare. You delivered your speech perfectly. But it all fell apart when you got to questions. Even the perfect speech can be ruined by a bad Q&A session. Even when you've delivered the most impressive, informative speech, the audience is still going to have questions at the end. And that question session can either go really well or really badly. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to make your Q&A session a success. Hi, I'm Dave Mack, and I've been a public speaker and public speaking trainer for the last 16 years. I've trained CEOs, executives, and managers how to deliver confident and engaging speeches. And to make sure you handle questions in the best way possible, follow this process. The audience has just finished the round of applause. Someone raises their hand and asks a question. The first thing you need to do is make sure you understand the question that was asked. Do not attempt to answer the question until you're 100% clear what the questioner is asking. If someone asks a lengthy, complicated, or unintelligible question, ask them to repeat and ask them to summarize. You can then state the question back to them to confirm that you do indeed understand and are going to answer the question they want you to. Always put the responsibility for making the question clear onto the person who's asking the question. If you don't, and you try to answer a question that you don't fully understand, you are then taking responsibility. And as you start to answer, and the answer is not what they were looking for, you start to look like the person at fault. And this undermines trust in your entire presentation. It shouldn't, but it does. So make sure you understand the question before you answer. Part of making sure you understand is also clarifying, and you should clarify on an as-needed basis. Are you asking what the new deadline is a fantastic clarification if the question was unintelligible. Not such a good clarification question if the question was, what's the new deadline? So only clarify when you actually need to. Now that we understand the question, answer it. But if the question is not something you can answer easily right now, or you don't have a definitive answer, feel free to postpone the answer to that question. Explain that it's going to take too long and too much of everyone's time right now. You will get back to everyone with an email giving them the correct answer at a later point. If you're not the best person to answer the question, say so and direct the audience to the person who is the right person to answer the question. After you've answered the question, the final step is to confirm. Now, this is probably the most important step. And a confirmation sounds like this. Did I answer your question? The reason we want to ask this is twofold. Firstly, after you answer a question in your Q&A session, there is often some dead air. And that dead air exists because the questioner is thinking, are they going to say anything else? And you are thinking, is there going to be a follow-up question? And everyone else is thinking, I have a question to ask too, but I don't want to interrupt because I'm not sure if they've finished. And so there's this dead air where no one's really doing anything. And what you want to do is relieve that dead air so that you can more confidently move on to the next question. So you can say, did I answer your question? Yes? Okay. Any more questions? And that completely removes the dead air from the room. The second reason you want to confirm is you want to give the person who asked the question the opportunity to easily say, well, actually, I also wanted to know about this piece of information too. And that allows you to efficiently give the information they need so you can move on. There's nothing more annoying for the speaker and also for the audience where there's dead air and no one knows what's going to happen and everyone's thinking, I've got other work to do, I've got other places to be. What are we doing? Are we moving on? Are we just sitting here in silence for a while? So make sure you confirm. Did I answer your question? So in summary, make sure you understand the question before you start to answer and clarify on an as-needed basis. But importantly, put the responsibility for making the question clear onto the person asking the question. If they can't make the question clear, then they may not have an urgency in getting that question answered right at that moment. Answer the question and confidently put off or redirect questions to another party where necessary. Don't try and answer questions you don't have the full responsibility to answer, because you again put yourself in a situation where the audience can lose trust in you because you can't answer confidently and succinctly. And finally, make sure you confirm to get rid of the dead air in the audience and so you can move efficiently on to the next question. And if you want to discover how to speak naturally on stage, check out this video next.